That's it. That's all for we're off the air forever.
Hashtag theming.
Oh
The
God.
FCC is coming for us. We're out. We're done. Too many Hitler jokes. So,
Welcome to another
Welcome.
fancy episode of podcasting while covered in blood.
podcasting and procrastinating
From what?
from covering ourselves in blood.
More
guys may
blood,
have
please.
You guys may have done that shit. That's too much work for me. Jesus. Go out and
man.
get the blood, then cover yourself in it. No, thank you.
Oh, is it not your
You
own
get blood? Yeah, wait,
Did
yeah,
I-
whoa,
did I mess this up?
whoa.
I think I missed some
You
instruction.
broke the unspoken path.
Somebody has made an error. It's me or you, somebody. Okay, so, procedural games.
Procedural.
Speaking of the blood of the innocent.
No.
So yeah, specifically, right, No Man's Sky, the game that shall never be released.
Oh no, of course not.
They still, on their website, I'd like to point out, they still, oh shit, hit the mic. They still claim that it's coming out this year. It still says that on their website. I check, like, weekly.
December 31st,
Yeah.
11:59.
What if it actually does come out December 31st, 11:59?
It better
and
not.
59
I'd be
seconds?
fucking pissed. There's no way it's ready.
That's true. That's true.
Anyways.
That would be pretty annoying. Okay, so, like, I think first off, like, a good place to start is just, like, the potential, huge potential problems of something like this.
The
right?
main one, in my opinion, it being boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
When
Like,
you
not
have
having enough
so much
variability.
content, like, you must run into issues at some point, right? Where you just
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I visited, 1,000 fucking planets and seen 999 different types of dogs. Like, what the fuck do I do now?
Red dog, blue dog, maroon dog, magenta dog.
One fish,
Yeah.
two fish.
I know,
red fish,
I was
blue
searching
fish.
for the joke when it didn't come to me.
Yeah, no, like, it has to be a very finely crafted system, which it's hard to tell when you're looking at, like, pretty they say it's not scripted, but, it might still be
Well,
scripted,
not just finely
like things.
Yeah, not just finely crafted, but also it needs to have things to do.
Yeah.
We haven't
Yeah.
been really told about what you're gonna do yet. We've
Yeah.
seen like a little bit of space fighting, a lot of exploring. That's like really all we've seen.
Yeah,
But, like,
well, they've said
what
they
do
have an
we
economy.
do?
They have, like, procedurally generated, like,
Oh, that's
alien
right, the
civilizations.
economy. Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, like,
Here's-
there's always a risk of, like, leaving something too open.
Yeah, yeah. Where
Like,
you're just
Minecraft
like, what the fuck
is, like,
do
about
I do?
building.
Yeah, it's got an overarching theme or a philosophy or whatever the hell you want to call building.
And there's fighting and, like, redstone stuff, like, other things you can get into.
Yeah, the
but, like,
narrative's very obvious. Like, by the end of the first day, you know what to do in Minecraft because you see the
Yeah.
monsters. You want to fucking make something to hide behind, something to kill the monsters with.
Yeah, right. There is goals that you can have other than just exploring. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, usually exploring, besides exploring caves, like, isn't even really the main, like, thing of Minecraft. Like, unless there's, like, animals that you need that you don't have, you usually don't leave your immediate, like, 100 block area.
Unless
Yeah.
you get bored and you want to build
true.
something new, so.
That's true. But even then, you just usually just kind of, like, expand out in a spiral around, like, your original home base.
True.
Like, so, like, you can explore, but it's not necessarily, like, a thing you, like, have to or
So,
even,
like,
like, really want to do.
I guess the problem between, comparing Minecraft to No Man's Sky is that they may not be all that similar besides the fact that they're procedurally generated.
Yeah, that's
Are
true.
you
'Cause
saying
it
I
seems
can't
like-
mine or craft in No Man's Sky?
I think you can actually do both.
Really?
Besides the point.
See, that's the thing. It's so much thinking. No one knows what's going to happen in this game, and I'm very
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah,
Very
maybe this is-
frustrated. I
maybe
wonder if
this
it'll
is-
be as simple as Minecraft. Like within
Oh,
the
no
first,
way.
well, of course not. But maybe in the first day you'll understand the basic narrative. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if they're gonna go for a similar thing, or if like the whole marketing process will be based on it being complicated and unknown of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, I also think, like, it's also, I don't know how much this will affect gameplay, but I know just, like, under the hood wise, it's a different kind of procedural than Minecraft.
Oh well,
is.
definitely.
Sure.
Because, yeah, 'cause
Minecraft was
is, like,
not that complicated.
Yeah, and it's
Nowhere
like, yeah, it's
near as
block-based.
complicated.
And your brain kind of fills in the gaps, but, like, you know,
Oh
like,
yeah.
the difference between a hill and flat ground to us is really big, but, you know, in, like, the fucking, like, code, it's not.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's, like, the same code, basically. It's just, like, up. Like, it's the only difference. But, like, in No Man's Sky, like, not only are, like, the world generating procedural, but, like, your actual screen is procedural, kind of like in Minecraft, but, like, like there's no loading screens to go down to the planets, you know? Like, there's no loading screens at all in the game. And so, like, the way that works is because it procedurally, like, renders in and out, like, things with, like, different levels of, like, complexity, like, the closer you get. So when you're far away from a planet, it'll only, like, render up to a certain number of pixels. And
Like
that's
the
how
color,
it's possible.
basically?
Yeah, and so that's how it's
Okay.
possible for your computer to, like, run
Handle
this,
it.
Yeah.
you know, is because, like, the visuals are also procedural, which is really, like, different. Like, not many games are made like that.
Yeah, I think
with, like,
more
with, like-
games are starting to now with now that basically the hardware is capable of handling it with the PS4s and Xbox Ones, but
Yeah. Well, they're trying to just, like, high fidelity, like, make everything. You know, like, once a pixel is made, once a texture is made, that's just the texture in the game.
Yeah.
They don't really have, like, a program for, like, fading it in and out like they do in No Man's Sky.
yeah, that's true. So
Yeah.
So No
like,
Man's Sky, in layman terms, a few more lines of code than Minecraft?
possibly
one or two. Yeah.
That's
and, like,
crazy.
yeah, and I
Like, I don't want to think about it, right? Like, it's
scary.
just a little too much.
yeah, no, it's like an actual, like, universe. It's like another, like, world that's, like, not infinite, but, like, effectively infinite.
Has
Like, it's,
science
like,
gone too far?
like one of those, like, fish dog pictures?
Just
I'm gonna ask Maddie to make that the
screenshots from
thumbnail.
just screenshots from No Man's Sky.
Has science gone too far?
What are the
so,
bounds of nature?
but, like, and so, yeah, no, you do run into, like, because you can't make it too varied, because then you have things that just don't make sense.
Yeah.
Like one-legged thing that, like, couldn't physically and would break your immersion, because it'd be like, oh, this is a video game that I'm looking at, where, like, oh, this is like a one-legged tiger hopping around across, like, after me, like. But you can't make it too confined, or else, like you said, it's just like, oh, cool, this is like the 100th red dog planets. But these ones have, like, a third back horn or something like that, you know?
900 more and I get the achievement. 1,000 red dog planets. Properly named achievement.
Yeah. And so, like, yeah, so it's weird, because when you see them, like, show off this game, like, they kind of, like, just glide by a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, are you gliding by this because there's just so much shit in the game that to focus on everything would be annoying? Or are you gliding by this because you want us to think it's a lot more than it is?
Yeah.
You know, like, when you see those space battles, you're like, so are there, like, civilizations, like, actually, like,
Yeah,
procedurally
is there
generating
a
and then
fucking
duking it out?
story? Yeah.
Or is it just, like, that's just there and we're not going to look at it because then we'd realize that it's just, like, complete aesthetic and, like, not actually anything, you know? Like,
Yeah.
what's the level of interactivity? What's the level of video gaminess, I think, is the big question.
I think another problem. Okay, so it's so fucking vast. We already know how fucking
Yes.
big it is, just from what we've seen and from what we
Yeah.
heard. But are you gonna see other real players? That's
I don't
a big
like.
question
Well,
for
there's
me.
it's 2 to the 64th planets, or is it stars? I think it's stars.
Well, just because it's all really far apart doesn't mean you'll spawn really far apart.
They've said that you'll be all be on the same server.
Well, I guess, yeah, statistically, probably betting on the fact that
Well,
you're not
Two
going to
things.
really see
Yeah,
anyone.
one, they've said they're all on the same server, but it's going to be hard to find or run into. Or at least they said it's hard to run into randomly other people. I don't know if you could. There's like a friend system. We don't know.
Yeah, see, that's what I
But-
want, because I feel like the friend system would really make this game, like, even if the game was shit and didn't have, like, enough game mechanics to make it
Yeah.
enjoyable, exploring with another person
Yeah.
would instantly make
Holy
the
shit,
system
I haven't thought about that.
so much
yeah,
better.
no, can you imagine like all 3 of us with an account and like getting on and like exploring stars? Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, no, it'd be fucking sweet.
and
Yeah,
also,
but,
like-
like, from what I've heard, that's most likely not
Yeah,
going to be
we'll see.
happening.
And also, like, there's the thing that, like, from what they've said, like, the end goal of the game, and they haven't said what it is, but the end goal of the game is located in the center of the galaxy.
Okay.
And so,
Yeah.
knowing that, people are probably spawned randomly on the outskirts, which is like very far away from each other, you know? So, but it might also be like the closer to the center you get, the more you start running into other people. Just because of physics, you know, because it's just a smaller circle there.
Yeah.
But like again, it's hard to like. Maybe this podcast is premature because we're really running into like a lot of fucking like.
Oh, I don't know.
Because we don't know.
Which maybe is like the marketing's fault, but also
no, but maybe it's also the marketing success.
Yeah, our problem is that we still don't know when it's coming out, so we don't know like how to judge it based off that.
They're making.
But they've already hyped it up so much, so it's really their
again
fault
right now. Like he was on the Late Show. Like,
Stephen Colbert's like response was exactly my response when I saw this game. Just pure awe,
and also a little bit of like I don't believe it. Like
especially
when you learn that it's being made
you're
by
bullshitting
like
me right
people.
now. Yeah, it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem.
I don't deserve this.
So Sony is pouring a shit ton of money into it though, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But I really hope we release this and like a day later they release the release date. It's just like, oh cool.
Yeah, I know, right?
But like
if only.
Yeah, there's a lot of dangers to procedural generation, but it does make it a lot easier, but like
I'm pretty sure that's probably what they're doing right now is just beating the fuck out of the kinks.
Yeah, no, that's
game.
the thing, but like this will never be a perfect game. Like there will be bugs. Cuz just so
cuz like it's almost what you're programming is you're programming bugs in the system essentially.
Yeah. And there's no way to quality QA the entire thing. Like it's impossible. Like did I tell you how they're QAing it?
Yeah, they make like little bots that explore the universe,
and, like, hyperspeed,
right?
Yeah.
It's insane. Like you're creating something specifically for your game to make your game.
No, and it's like snaps GIFs of like
it's
every
too
planet.
Fucking meta.
And it's like actually like exploring
meta.
the universe they created. It snaps GIFs of their planets and puts them in a folder, and they just like peruse through the GIFs and see if there's anything fucked up.
That's my main problem with No Man's Sky, is that it's just like it's gonna be so different. Like, will it irreparably change everything we play after that?
I think maybe to an extent. At the very least, like, because Sean Murray, who's the lead developer, talks in an interview about how like he was started to make it, and they were at some sort of game con. I don't remember which one. I think it may have been the Game Developers Conference, GDC, and like they went and talked with some guys who made the last Star Trek game, who made all these like planets that you could go to and shit, and they were just like describing how they've made like literally millions of planets like really easily with this procedural shit. And like the Star Wars guy was like, I wish we had thought of this because we spent like so much money like intricately designing every single planet, and we're gonna have like not even a fraction.
Ooh, that brings up a good point though. Will games just be designed procedurally from here? Like, will it be more cost and or time effective to create games that are procedurally generated and then kind of go in and then just build on top of what you've generated?
Maybe. I feel like a story-based... Well, do you think a really narrative-based game could be done procedurally?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, so you create like a procedural universe, right? And then you literally go in and just MS Paint that shit and just put your game on top of it. Like, is that the future of game design?
Is that like? I mean, like, is that feasible?
Should we not put up this podcast because this idea is worth money? Here are the questions. Like, well, I mean, that's the idea of technology, right? Is that it gets cheaper as it goes on. You get more technology. It makes technology easier to create. It's hyperbolic.
Though, I will say,
is that the word I'm supposed to use there?
I think so.
Is it hypothermic?
Parabolic. That's the word I was looking for.
What?
Hyper parabolic. I just got the connection right there.
Okay, but you also have to think of the business side, right? Because I feel like from like an investor standpoint, there's a lot more risk in a procedural game, especially if you're putting a story on it, because you can't guarantee that you QA every part of the game. You know?
Well, no, I'm not saying that you completely make it procedurally generated, but like I've never played Mass Effect, but from what I've seen, there's a lot of different planets in Mass Effect. Do you think like we in the future would maybe even like third parties would create procedural generation systems and then kind of like how you use a WordPress to make like a website, you use these systems to generate a universe, and then you go in and build your game on top of it. Like create the environments, right?
I think you'd need a very specific program that could pick out and like design like things for shooters specifically. Because like in Mass Effect, like you have like there are gunfights and the levels are like designed around cover and shit like that. So like if you don't have someone specifically designing that, you'd have to have a very careful system designing out cover and shit like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's what you buy the system for. Or it'd be broken as shit.
Yeah, but if
this is making the assumption that these procedurally things. My words are not working tonight. Procedurally generated worlds are easy to make, and right now they're obviously not.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think your code would have to have, like Alex said, very specific parameters.
Yeah, and it's also like
game you're making.
It's also like this. The procedural makes the art design a lot harder too.
Yeah.
Because you have to take into account every like possibility that your computer will take into account as an art designer. So to have a universe that doesn't just look like a broken mess that looks like cohesive, like it's easy for Minecraft because everything's just 16-bit. But for the things like No Man's Sky,
exactly.
like at GDC, the like lead art designer gave a talk about how like he had to talk with. He basically spends his entire day with the coder talking through like. It needs to look like this. The parameters need to be so that this animal always has this type of bone structure. Because you can't have this animal looking like this animal without this bone structure. And then the coder, who doesn't have artistic experience, has to go in and code in an artistic bone structure. While like the artist who...
That sounds like
while the artist who doesn't
that sounds
have like coding experience has to make all of these things and doesn't know what the other side of the process is going to be like. So like it makes a lot of pieces of this job a lot harder because it's not like a JPEG that you slap onto something, it's not like a texture. It's something that is made by the computer with
as if other games are just slapping JPEGs on shit. It's not like that Call of Duty shit. You can't just fucking Google search Call of Duty and fucking copy paste that JPEG on there. Black Ops 3 coming out in November.
Well, but you can't just place textures on the thing. Because like all of these animals have internal coded structures as well that you can't see, but like bone structures.
But are there to like make it
cohesive.
Work,
no, yeah, because you talk about how like
scale.
say like the length of like the bones will differ, but like the joints and things like that will always be about the same because that's what you need to make an animal that like could exist or could walk. Yeah. Or that doesn't like if you have like an animal like just think of Spore, like you can make animals that look broken as shit because the animations don't work. That's the other thing. They have to make it so that all the animations for the movement of these creatures work with all possible iterations. That's also incredibly hard.
Sounds like a bitch.
Yeah, like having just like legs that don't just like phase through chests or shit like that. Like that sounds crazy hard,
I think that's just why I don't want No Man's Sky to come out. I just don't want to face the reality that somehow this happened. I have to deal with that. I have to go to bed with that on my mind. It's gonna keep me up at night. Just be like some artist, right? And some fucking coder out there got together and made this. I have to deal with that,
And with that,
Call of Duty coming out in November.
That'll make you feel better. Hundreds of artists and hundreds of coders got together and jacked into a pot, and this is what came out.
As if to say game design is jacking it in a pot.
And slapped a JPEG on it, and that's that.
Slap a JPEG on it, call it a day.
Never mind, that's the fucking thumbnail for this video. Pot full of jizz with a JPEG slapped on it.
I don't think we can upload that. I think that goes against terms of use or something.
I'll upload whatever I goddamn please.
I've never read the terms of use, so how am I supposed to know?
Pleading innocent. Innocent until proven guilty, motherfuckers. Okay,
I don't think that applies.
I think that we've said all there is to say on the topic. It makes us nervous.
More.
There's a lot of pitfalls, but like at least I'm still hopeful. I don't know about Ethan over here.
I'm hopeful, but worried. It's just like the Holocaust. You might actually have to take that Holocaust.
No, I will.
Thank you.
because it was a little too like goodbye everybody.
It was a little
see
too
you guys
much.
next time.
Just like from what we've seen, right? We've seen the alpha gameplay, and
Yeah.
the beta we've
To draw players in, players are left to run between boxes in the direction of their enemies, simplifying the combat to the point where getting kills is just a matter of how long does it take you to mindlessly run forward into an enemy, shoot, die, and repeat.